Good morning and warm welcome to you all. I am Vaibhav, your host for today. Our topic for today is self-awareness, who I am. It shall be taken by Ms. Sheetal Liwalkar. She shall cover what is self-awareness, what are the benefits of self-awareness, levels of self-awareness, types of self-awareness, followed by question and answer session. Our agenda for today is virtual inauguration by Dr. Sundar Kataria, invoking the blessing of deity, chanting of Gayatri Mantra, introduction of speaker, presentation by Ms. Sheetal Niwalkar, question and answer session, and last closing session. About Sadgun Sangh. Sadgun Sangh conceived and led by Dr. Sundar Kataria, driven with the mission to elevate the quality, safety, and environmental awareness levels of industry. Sadgun Sangh is a series of educative, informative events aiming to eliminate professionals on possible solutions to current issues of industry and economy. About brief introduction of Dr. Sundar Kataria, designation and organization, Chairman and Managing Director, International Certification Services Private Limited. His academic qualifications are Doctorate in Business Management, Mechanical Engineer, experience, Rajasthan Atomic Power Project, India's first nuclear power plant, RAPP at Rawat Bata, Kota, built by Indian engineers, work as nuclear scientist for 11 years and successfully completed and commissioned the plant. Engineers India Limited, first batch of engineers to develop Bombay High offshore oil and gas fields, mega offshore complex platform, trunk and submarine pipelines, underwater inspection and indigenization oil and gas equipment, etc. Det Norsec Versatile, world largest classification society, worked for 17 years at various capacity for the certification of fixed offshore installations, submarine pipelines, onshore projects, and personnel qualification. ICS. He is founder of India's first certification conformance assessment body established in the year 1999, provider of total quality solution. Certification of management system, ISO, inspection, testing, and training qualification of personnel. Achievements and award, receive lifetime achievement award for the contribution for the corrosion technologies from NES International by NIGIS under NES USA, social worker, protection of life, asset, environmental and safety. So now I request Dr. Kataria to please virtually inaugurate the session.
शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
Please join us for the recitation of the Gayatri Mantra. Introduction of our today's keynote speaker, designation and organization, assistant manager, system documentation, Her academic qualification, BA in Sociology. Her area of specialization and experience are 25 plus years of rich experience in management system, out of which 10 years of on-ground experience pertaining to POSH Act, impaneled as an external member for over 100 companies across India since the inception of the POSH Act in 2014 till date, undergone extensive training under the said act and its requirements, and have handled complaints and conducted almost 50 plus investigations under the said act. Lead auditor for quality management system, environmental management system, and consultant for QMS, EMS, FSMS, OHSS, and other management systems in India and abroad. Also associated with labor law firm to conduct audits under various labor laws. So please welcome Sheetal ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
जो भी ऐसा भगवान का तीर ऐसा फटा फूटा सकते तो साइड में मैं तो तेरे को भी बोल रही
Good morning, everybody. Am I audible and visible? So let's begin with today's topic and that we're going to cover. It's basically on self-awareness, who I am. So we're going to know a little bit about who I am today and learn how to self-assess yourself and create a self-awareness about yourself. So with the picture that you see on the screen, that who you see yourself in the mirror. So that is what you're going to identify today. So let's begin with the presentation. These are the topics that I'm going to cover today. What is self-awareness? What are the benefits of self-awareness? Levels of self-awareness, types of self-awareness, how does self-awareness develop, and how to increase self-awareness. So we will go on with the definition of what is self-awareness or self-knowledge, Atma Gyan. So definition is conscious knowledge of one's own character and feelings, motives, and desires. So once a person has conscious knowledge of one's own character and feelings, he is self-aware. So self-aware is basically the ability to focus on yourself and how your actions, thoughts, emotions do or do not align with your internal standards. Now, what are our internal standards? You need to understand your internal standards that we're going to touch today. So there are unique components. Which are these internal standards? So those internal standards are your thoughts, your experiences and abilities. So self-awareness means the habit of paying attention to the way you think, feel and behave. Right? So once you know or you're attentive to what you think, what you feel and you behave, you know around you, you're aware of your surroundings, of your stimulations. So that's what increases your self-awareness. It is also a rare skill, as many of us get spirally involved into emotion-driven interpretations of our circumstances. So developing self-awareness is very, very important. Why? Because it allows us to assess self-growth and effectiveness and change course when necessary. So once you know where you're lacking, where you need to improve upon, so accordingly change course when necessary. Now, why become self-aware? What is the purpose of becoming self-aware. It helps you to become a better decision maker. If you're aware about your own feelings, about your own thoughts, about the way you behave, you are able to take decisions more better. You are able to take decisions more in a positive manner. Right? It also gives us the self-confidence. So as to result, we communicate with clarity and intention. So once you are a better decision maker, it also increases your self-confidence. Also, your communication increases with clarity and intention. It also gives you a greater ability to regulate your emotions. It also builds better relationships. Once you are able to regulate your emotions, you are also able to control your relationships and build better relationships. It allows us to see things from multiple perspectives, not only through like घोड़े जैसे आप वो लगाओ और एक ही perspective से चलो, ऐसा नहीं है. So it allows us to see from multiple perspective of others. It also allows you to practice self-control, work creatively and productively in your work environment, and experience pride in yourself and work as well as self-esteem. So once you have control of your self-control, once you have a better perspective of your circumstances, it creates a positive self-esteem, and also you feel proud about yourself in what you present and behave in a particular circumstance or situation. It frees you from any assumptions or biases. Normally, what we do is when some situation or circumstances arises in our lives, we tend to assumptions. We tend to take decisions based on assumptions and get biased. So it frees us from being fair and as assumption free and bias free. It also gives us the power to influence outcomes. Now, what are your outcomes? A certain particular behavior or an act has got an outcome of it, right? And an input has got an output. So how it gives you the power to influence your outcomes or the output in the way you behave in your life situations and circumstances. And finally, it decreases stress and makes you more happier. So these are the benefits or why become self-aware. This will help you in your life and future. Now we come to what are the types of self-awareness. Now there are two types defined under self-awareness. One is your public self, the way you are in front of the public or how the public sees you or views you. That is called public awareness, self-awareness. Now this type emerges when people are aware of how they appear to others. It is normally like, for example, now today I'm giving you a presentation and basically everybody is listening to me. If I'm giving a live presentation, everybody will be viewing me, seeing me, how I present this presentation. Then they will have their own assumptions and own type of analytical how I presented this presentation. So this is called public awareness. So when people are center of attention and they're giving a talk to a group of people, so we are being constantly watched and evaluated. Yeah. So in the way we behave, in the way we socially, act, and whether we are acceptable and desirable to the audience or to the group that we are presenting to. So that is called public awareness. Public awareness also leads to evaluation anxiety, in the sense that due to fear that how people will assess me or how other people will gauge me as to how I am. So normally people get distressed, anxious, worried, how they portray themselves and how they are perceived by others, what people think about themselves. So that anxiety levels are also there. This is public self-awareness. Now there is something called as private self-awareness. Now what is private self-awareness? is something in your own private life or in your own close connect, you are able to notice and reflect on one's internal state. Now, when I said internal state, are what? Are your thoughts, your emotions, right? These are your own things. These are your own private awareness things. So getting introspective or approaching your own feelings and reactions to certain situations or circumstances. For example, like one of the most commonest example of private self-awareness is seeing yourself in the mirror. The way you observe yourself in the mirror is a reflection of what your feelings and your reactions are. When you see yourself in the mirror is private self-awareness. Also, another type of private self-awareness is that, for example, like today when I go to present this, I'm giving examples of me only. Like I'm going to present this presentation to you, so I have this kind of a fluttering thing in my stomach that how will I present this particular, presentation to the audience. So that is also a private self-awareness, that fear or something which, some physical sensation which you feel inside you, or, that is something very private to you. So becoming private, that is called private self-awareness. Now, how do you know if you're a self-awareness person? Now, how do you know that I am a self-aware person? A self-aware person is one who always knows his own strengths, his own limitations. He knows that he can do well and what he is not good at. He's able to assess his own strengths and limitations. He knows that I'm good at this, I'm good at painting and, doing creative things. I'm not good at, say, presenting things in front of or speaking out loud in a group and, presenting something. So these are the finding your own strengths and limitations. Limitations are what? Your things which you are scared of, or you don't want to do it, or you cannot do it, or you have such certain fear doing it. So you have to identify. A person who identifies his own strengths and limitation is a self-aware person. Now, a person also who has a clear idea of one's own priorities, how to prioritize your things. For example, in a say for day-to-day activities that we do here in our office, for example, how do you prioritize your things? What is most important that we need to do first, and then the later on things which are less important that can be done later on. So prioritizing one's own life and what is important for you and what is not important for you, and it is a waste of time doing it. That if he has a clear idea and prioritize it, then he or she is a self-aware person. Then is aware of differences in attitudes, values, and beliefs, and the primary causes of conflict. Also, during the like in stages of conflict, a person is going through a conflict and is able to differentiate in the attitudes or the beliefs or the values of what the causes are of the conflict, and he knows how to handle a conflict well. He is a self-aware person. Now, how to increase self-awareness? Basically, these are certain things that you just need to understand here, is that self-awareness can be increased by paying attention to what bothers you about other people and yourself also. What is that bothers you the most? Okay. Often the things that irritate us the most in other people are reflection of some of the qualities that we dislike in our own selves. Like, supposing, say, in a group of people or in a work environment where you're working, there are certain qualities you might find not okay with your colleagues that you work with, or you find something irritating that is bothering you. So pay attention to what is bothering you about other people, right? Because it's also a reflection of some of the quality that in ourselves that we are seeing in other people's as a reflection. Okay, that is the first thing, pay attention. Second is what? Try and meditate on your mind. It is a simple practice of keeping your attention focused on your breath or some other physics sensation. So meditation on your mind, it also Atma Gyan, to increase your self-awareness, you can meditate and create self-awareness. Then there are other things where you can do is read books. Like there are some writers and who have put up their own personal experiences as observers around the world that they have faced or they have gone through. So reading books about such writers, that will give you an inception or an introspection about your own feelings and your own emotions. So reading books on these particular writers, you can also do that, right? Then identify your emotional kryptonite. Now, what is a kryptonite? Kryptonite is basically a negative trait. Now, how will you identify your emotional kryptonite? Is that basically if you're feeling sad, what makes you feel sad? What makes you feel anxious? What are you ashamed of? You know, any other variety of negative emotion, you need to identify that. Because sometimes getting into that mode of not feeling good or not feeling sad, it takes you into negativity, right? You feel it is painful for you. So identify those emotions that drive you towards these negative traits. So identify those so that you can take corrective action, you can take or improve upon those traits and get into a positive attitude. Then fifth is that you draw a timeline of your life. For example, another way of getting self-aware is that draw a timeline of your life. It's like marking the major events, maybe from your childhood till now. Like whatever you remember about something that a major event has happened in your life. Especially supposing when you were 10 years old, 15 years old, 20 years old, you know. So try and, yeah. Okay. So drawing a timeline of your life. Now, what is drawing timeline of your life? Basically, a way to understand the major events in one's life. Okay. For example, you have and which had a major impact on your life. So you can draw a timeline. As I said, you can draw a timeline from your childhood till now. Whatever has happened major, whatever events may be good or bad, big or small, positive or negative, whatever these events that have happened in your life, if you draw a timeline and then you analyze those timelines, that what made me happy, what made me sad, which events made me happy, which events made me small, which made me not feel good about it, and do or take positive actions towards how you can improve on taking those, making from a negative to a positive side. Then the sixth is that you ask feedback from others about yourself. Because always taking a feedback, you will know where you're lacking or where you need to improve. So there could be a negative feedback also, there could be a positive feedback as well. So for positive feedbacks are always welcome, that makes you feel good about yourself, that yes, the way people perceive you, that people are liking you, the way people, you are good kind of a person in front of people. So getting a feedback is also very, very important. It's one of the way of becoming self-aware. Another way to increase self-awareness would be is like getting into some micro level travel. For example, like you're just shifted from one place to another place, right? And you don't know what are the major spots or major things for you to go and know about, or you want to be familiar with your own neighborhood perhaps and get to know your own neighborhood, like so just get out, sometimes just get out and go and see, walk around or travel around and see a whole new neighborhood that you haven't much spent time with. So there's an opportunity for micro travel. So this also helps you to widen and increase your self awareness about where you are at currently in a new place staying, for example. Then it also gets you out of your routine, and also it forces you to become more self-aware because you are getting into the outside world, exploring new neighborhoods or new things or new people, right? And the last is that learn a new skill. If you want to be more self-aware, learn a new skill, like for example, you may be not good in supposing, say, or drawing or a creative thing, and you want to learn a new skill. Maybe even it is, for example, you want to learn a guitar or you want to learn piano. Maybe that's your aspiration, but you're not finding time. So find time to learn new skills and increase your self-awareness as to what exactly you want to achieve and learn and new things. Also, another way to increase self-awareness is identifying your cognitive distortions. Now, what is cognitive distortions? Cognitive distortions are basically inaccurate thoughts and beliefs, okay? Or basically on how we observe and see things, including ourselves. Like sometimes we also have cognitive distortions about our own selves. Just like, like we say like simple habits, like, nail biting, or, just in case you're having some emotional breakdown, just snacking late at night, something like that. So we are unknowingly, these habits come to you. So these are cognitive distortions. So we need to also identify certain mental habits that unknowingly we keep on doing. So identifying those. So those could be like, overgeneralizing, having like mind reading, or, policies of fairness, or emotional reasoning, getting negatively biased, you know, thinking, overthinking. So these are all these cognitive distortions. So you need to identify those and then improve upon those and see how you can negate all those thoughts that come to you, all those habits that you, how can you reduce those habits. So that is one way of becoming self-aware as well. Then make time to clarify your values. Now, how often do you make time to deliberately and carefully consider your highest values and aspirations? And normally in our busy lives, in our daily life routines, we forget or we fail to make time for ourselves, first of all, right? So, in your day to day or in a week after week, you keep on going into a routine based workflow. Like just get up in the morning, get up, come to work in the office, and in the evening, just travel and go back home. So this is kind of a routine life or a mundane life that you keep on doing every day in your life. So clarify your time or make time to clarify what your values are, and how you can give that time or importance to clarifying or identifying what your values are and giving it that particular time for yourself. So also is a part to create self-awareness. So like small aspirations would be like, be kinder, laugh, be passionate, show love, take better self-care. So these are all your own values that you need to understand and make time for that and always be happy. So there are a few things wherein, like you can say, there are questionnaires or there are certain how you can find out what your strengths are and what your negative traits are, basically. So self-awareness happens through self-reflection. You can also have numerous experiences in your life, but you still lack self-awareness. Now, here I would just like to ask the audience, if you're there, you can put it up in your chat box, or you can just speak up if you want. How, not till the time whatever I have explained to you, how do you think that you are self-aware, or you still need to be self-aware? If you can just put it up in your chat box. Or you can just speak up, or you think you are self-aware person. Anybody is putting up in the chat box? Yes, no. One chat. Dipti is saying yes, she's self-aware of her. So Dipti, if I could just put you on for a second. And how do you think that you are self-aware? What are your strengths and what do you think that you have overcome to be a self-aware person? You can share. She's type something. Dipti, if you can unmute yourself and just speak, if it's possible.
5 strengths that I think myself is very much focused. I have a clarity of what I want, and I always plan my things. I am a great speaker, and also I have empathy towards others. So these are my 5 greatest strengths. There are certain limitations. Sometimes things when they are, or situations when they are not in our control, I prefer to go into my shells, which I feel that I should be as normal as I'm open. I should be opening up there also. And another limitation is I am an introvert.
Okay. Okay.
So the best quality in me, or the characteristic in me, is like I am very much like a good listener. I like to listen to people before giving up my suggestions.
Good. Very good. Yeah.
The qualities which I want to have is sometimes when being a research person, I am very much into like anxiety sometimes. So I wish to control my anxiety when I'm reading something. I go in deep into the research, and sometimes I get anxiety.
Okay.
The other traits or the qualities which I admire in others are some people are like go-getters. So they immediately plan and they do it very calmly. So this is something that I would like, since I face anxiety a lot.
Okay. Very good, Dipti. I'm very glad that you were able to assess yourself and analyze yourself and be a self-aware person. So you know what are your positive traits, you know where you lack and where you want to improve upon. So this is how basically one has to analyze his own strengths and negative qualities and how you overcome that, right? So this is the best example that Dipti gave. Anybody else would like to share from the audience their own experiences as to what are their fears, what are their strengths, like how Dipti has shared? Anybody else would like to share? I would like to have participation from the audience, because unless you don't come out with your own fears and your own, you will not be able to assess yourself. And this, whatever I'm presenting today, may be of little help to you. Anybody else would like to share? Okay, I'll give you all one exercise. Now, basically, this is an exercise for you all to, like, how now Dipti has assessed herself. So, like, we will now, certain things, like how she has identified about herself, we will now, you can list out the things if you can, if you want, you can just your own self-awareness, how will you carry out? So, what are your 5 greatest strengths? You write it down. What are your 2 greatest limitations that you have? You jot it down. Okay. This is for your like a workshop for you to maybe anytime when you find time for yourselves, please do this. Okay. What do you think are your best qualities, characteristics that you can just find out and just note it down? What qualities do you wish you had? Like how again Dipti, she has what she had said about herself and what she wished to that she wanted to improve upon. And what are the traits or qualities you do most admire in others? Yeah, these are the things that you note down. It will help you to be self-aware. Then what are the things that are really important to you? Write down these things. What is really important to you is going maintaining relationships is important to you. Self-care is important to you. Pleasing others is important. Whatever you think you feel is important to you, write down those. Even if it is one, write it one. Okay. And what are the two most important things? Two most important things to you. What are the values that you hold most dear to your heart? Now, what like if you can note down this, you'll be able to more assess yourself and more analyze yourself. Now, perceptions. How is the public to you? Like in a group of people that you are standing or working with, how is the public perception of yours? So how it is different from your public you and how it is different from your private you. Try to understand the difference in these two, your public self and your private self. So understand that and write it down. Then what makes it hard for you to be yourself with others? What is that fear or what is that trait in you which you feel that in front that you're not able to, put yourself across to others? For example, it could be communication, maybe in a group of people and people are debating about a certain topic and you have certain things in your mind you want to communicate, but you are scared to communicate that. So what makes it hard for yourself to communicate yourself in front of others? So that is also one thing that you need to self-analyze. And how are you trying to please others in the way you live your life? So pleasing others in the way of you live your life. So that also you can note down and jot down. Then what do you want want the people to think and say about you? Whether it is always only good things you want people to say about you, or you also want to hear negative things and so that you can improve. So this also, whether you want to hear only good or you want to hear only bad or you want to hear both, so that it helps you to self-analyze you. Then what do you least want people to think about you? Now, one is that what good people want to think about you and what is that you don't want people to think about you. And if people are thinking that what is not good about you, so what will you do about it to improve upon it? So these are the things when you keep on interacting with people with such things, if you ask them, you will be able to get more self-aware about yourself and be able to better your relationships in the surroundings of the world around you. Okay. What places and activities allow you to feel fully yourself? Now, what places you go to or what activities make you are fully yourself? Supposing some people might think going to the native place makes them fully aware of themselves. Then activities like supposing like let's just say maybe going to the gym or maybe going shopping around or maybe going just for playing sports activities, for example. So what places and activities make you feel fully aware of yourself? So these things, if you try to listen and be aware, it is helpful to you. Now, what are the 3 things you are most proud of in your life? to date, like from the date that you think, say maybe a certain kind of a certification or some kind of a award or some kind of a thing that you have done which you feel that has made you feel pride about yourself. So what are those three things which you feel, which you felt that I'm capable of doing this and I'm proud of doing these things, you know? So you can identify those accomplishments. Then if you were able to receive an award, what would you want that award to represent and why? Supposing you want to have an award and you wish to have an award, for example. So why would you want that award and what is that award you want to represent it by? You know, like for example, now we're having this, say, Diwali or a Ganpati festival or a function going on, event going on in our office. So we all are working towards, you know, the best that we can put in. Each department is putting its best to achieve or accomplish what is they have thought about to portray for the department, whatever state they have got to, you know, portray the best that they can, you know. So that is what putting up all the thoughts together and making it happen. So all these accomplishments, whatever you feel you have want an award to be received for. Then if you could also accomplish one thing during the rest of your life, what that would be? Supposing you are not able to accomplish one of the things that you wish for, right? And what is that one thing you want to in your future life you would want to do it, right? So these things if you note down and jot down, it will also help you to be more self-aware of. Now reflections. What are the reflections? List 3 things that you are. Okay, maybe like how Dipti said, she's very empathetic, she's very compassionate, like, you know. So list 3 things that you are. Then list 3 things that you are not, right? Then what do you like best about yourself? Even if this is called self-reflection, getting to know yourself better. And who are the 2 people that you admire most in your life? Who are the two people that you admire most? And what do you admire most about them? Right? So if these things, if you write down these things that I've listed out, so you will be able to reflect your own emotional, like what 3 things about who you are, right? 3 things you are not. It will tell you what that you are not, you need to improve upon, right? Now complete these questions about writing yourself. Like what do I do when I'm best at, you know? So I do my best at when I am, say, in a particular situation or in a particular activity. So I do my best when I am, say, with my friends. I'm at my best, you know, and I'm happy with them and I'm at my best. Then I struggle. I struggle when I want to communicate. I struggle when I want to, you know, convey something across to my people at my workplace, for example. So when do you struggle? So these are the things that you need to identify. I'm most comfortable when. So your most comfortable zone, where do you feel that you're most comfortable at, right? Then you need to also write down when you're feeling stressed. So what are your stress level or what are your trigger points where you feel that you get stressed upon? Then I feel courageous when, and being myself is hard. Like I try to be myself, but I feel it hard because like like I have certain fears, I have certain notions that if I portray myself like this, I will not be perceived correctly by the others, you know. So, and what I love about myself. So if these things are able to, these are the few things for you to self-assess yourself and self-analyze yourself. So if you do these things, certain workshop or certain, like if you just note down, you will be able to assess yourself. So here the question comes is like, are you driving your life or your life is driving you? So if you ask this question to yourself is that, are you driving your life So if are you driving your life, that means you are in control of your life. And your life is driving you means the life is controlling you. So what is the better thing? You driving your life or the life controlling you? So it is always better to be the driver of your life. So to take control of your life and you drive the way you want it, your life to go ahead, right? So be the like while you're driving your car, the driver is holding the steering wheel, right? So you be the person who wants to steer the wheel of your life and take you to the direction of the destination that you want to go to, or what you have portrayed, or you want to perceive, or you want to go ahead to, right? So you be your driver of your life. So the last is that knowing thyself is the first step towards knowing others. So when you know yourself, then only you will know others. So first and foremost, try to know yourself. Once you know yourself, or once you know how you are able to control your emotions, your thoughts, your strengths, your weaknesses, you're able to gauge them, then only you'll be able to like know others, gauge others, see others, right? So the first step is know thyself. So basically this was the presentation on self-awareness today. And if anybody has any queries or questions, we can ask for and we can take it, right? So if anybody has not understood anything, anybody wants to ask any questions, you're free to communicate and ask. Now is a chance to ask. You can put it in your chat box. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. What is the difference between mindfulness and self-awareness? Now, being mindful and self-awareness go together hand in hand. Being mindful is what is basically being in the present, being in the present. For example, now I am presenting this presentation to, I am fully aware of that what I'm talking about, what I'm going to portray, what I'm going to say in this particular presentation. I'm mindful about what I'm going to put forth to the audience. So being aware of the present current situation that you are in, right? That is mindfulness, being in the present. Self-awareness is that you are self-aware of that you are being mindful, or you know that you are, uh, you know, uh, you know how things have to be taken further. That is self-awareness. Self-awareness has got a broader perspective. Mindfulness is one of the aspects of being self-aware. Yes, sir. See if there are any questions. Any other questions anybody wants to put? You can please unmute and ask. Anybody have any questions? Yes. Yes. Yes, sir. You. Uh, I'm not able. Anybody is asking any question, but I'm not able to hear. Sir, since you have raised your hand, sir, do you have any more questions? I'm not able to hear.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
sir.
have a,
Yes, sir.
I have small question.
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, I can hear
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, although self-awareness I have and I go my way,
Yes, sir.
however, it is seen that many times when you are in the office or with your friends or with your family, how is your surrounding, how is the atmosphere, how is the environment? And then you are not able to go your way because
Okay.
then you have to compromise yourself.
Okay.
Like this, if in office, I would like to have discipline because I am disciplined also.
Yes, sir.
But then when you see people are surrounding you, then you find it very difficult to digest, very
sir.
difficult to go your own way.
Yes.
So how do you say about it? How to mend the people? How to change the people?
So these certain like having a discipline in the office, first of all, these are the rules and regulations put forth by certain organizations for the employees for them to follow. Now, of course, there are certain ways of implementing the discipline, like how to discipline the employees in the office. So basically, if the employee is not um, accustomed, or you can say is not adhering to the rules and regulations put forth by the organization to its employees, they are definitely subjected to disciplinary action. But then yes, certain warnings, certain things, as long as I know it's difficult for you to take in that the things that you want your employees to want to follow the rules and regulations, and they're not following it. Yeah, they have to be some disciplinary action has to be given to them and told to them that these are the things has to be followed. If it is not followed, will have to be action has to be taken for that. Yes, sir.
Hello.
I can't hear you, sir.
Yeah, am I audible now?
Yes, yes, yes.
Now the last slide you have shown that
No, your voice is
whether the
breaking.
life is driving or you are the driver of the life.
Yeah.
Now is it clear?
Your voice is not clear. Your voice
Is
is
it clear
breaking.
now?
No, no, no.
So last slide
No,
was
I'm sorry, sir. I'm not able to hear you at all.
Kindly put your question on chat box because your
Can,
voice is not clear.
can you put your question
Okay,
in the
I
chat box?
will put it in the chat box. Yeah.
Okay, can we get this session applicable for different age groups? Is this your question? Can we get this session applicable for different age groups? Yes, yes. Now, self-awareness is also from the child to the adulthood. Every say event or in every life circumstance situation teaches you something or the other. So self-awareness for a child is different for a self-awareness for an adult, right? So, like for example, if I just tell you an example, 1 minute. So there are like how a child becomes self-aware of itself. I would just like to throw some light on this. So like how children become aware of themselves. Let's talk about children. So there are different levels of self-awareness between from the birth to the time, say approximate age of 4 that they go through. So how self-awareness a child goes through, I'll just explain to you. So it's like first is the level of self-awareness for a child is differentiating. How does a child differentiate itself? Like a child becomes aware when it is reflected in a mirror. For example, when a child goes through a mirror, passes through a mirror and sees itself in the mirror, right? How does he know it is not him or it is only him? So that level 1 of differentiation, like getting accustomed to the environment or to the to simply perceive like what he is seeing, is it himself or it is somebody else? Okay, so differentiation, that is one point of self-awareness of a child, that whether it is I or whether it is somebody else I'm seeing. Then situation, how does he accustom himself to the situation that he is? So like there could be like the movements that he makes, or he walks, or he's waving himself in front of the mirror. So this movement, the situation that he sees, that the person, that somebody is there in the mirror, that person is waving, that is me only. So that is getting aware of the situation or your surroundings. And then third thing is identification of yourself. So identifying yourself to that particular situation, that this is me only in the mirror, and I'm only myself is getting portrayed in the mirror. So that is identification of yourself. The children can do that. And then permanent, then making themselves adhere to that thought that yes, creating a permanency in their thoughts that yes, the person, whenever I pass through a mirror and I see myself, it is me only who I'm seeing, right? And then being self-conscious. Later on, that thing develops slowly, and that is how a child becomes self-aware of his surroundings and of himself. So there are different at different stages of like from a child to the adulthood, there are different types of self-awareness that a person goes through. I hope I have answered your question. Where is the chat box? Yeah, so I hope I've answered your question. Anybody else has any questions? Anybody else have any questions to ask?
Hello,
Yes.
am I audible now?
Yes, you're audible. Yes.
Yeah, so last slide you have shown that whether you are a driver of your life or life is driving you. Okay.
Yes.
But sometimes situation comes like you can't drive yourself. The life is driving you. So in that case, how to deal with the situation?
So that is how, as I said, explained to you, is it's you have to develop those, how you come out of those situations. So how you become more self-aware, your weaknesses you have to work upon to make them your strengths, right? So now supposing now when I say, just give me one example. What do you think when you say that the life is controlling you? What situation, if you are put into, is controlling you and you're not able to take it, you're not able to drive it yourself? For example, you ask yourself that question: what is making me not drive my own life? ask these questions to you. So you'll get number of answers. From that answers, you see which is the most apt that you feel that you need to take corrective action on. Why am I able to take control of my life? This is how you will have to analyze yourself. Self-analysis is the best analysis for you to improve upon your own fears, your own lacunas, your own, you feel negative traits. So keep on asking questions to your own self. Or if you feel you're not getting those answers by yourself, as I said, take feedbacks. Take feedbacks from others, see their perspective, see if it is going along with your own, what you want to pursue and what you want to achieve.
Can this program is applicable for the other age groups as well, the kids or the mid-age
Yes,
age?
yes, just now I just explained.
Yeah,
you
because
to
yeah,
you
most
were
of the
able to hear
students
me.
are
You were
yeah,
able to
most of
hear
the
me
students are
right
in
now.
yeah.
Now, just now I just gave you an example of the child, like how a child becomes aware from his birth to the age of 4. Like how does he know how he's like, you know? Did you listen that I just explained to you? Did you listen to that? So as I said, yes, it is applicable to all different age groups. Yeah. For students, basically, it will help them to take their life in making decision making. It will help them. If you're self-aware of what exactly you want or where you want to go ahead in life. So choosing the most apt career path for them. You know, if you are self-aware of, then you are able to take better decisions. Anybody else have any more questions? Or if nobody has any further questions, shall we conclude this session? Shall we conclude? So thank you very much for the patient listening to the presentation done today on self-awareness. In case anybody wants to have a word or wants to talk, they can still put their questions on the chat box later on. Or even if they can have questions, they can put into Weber in case they're able to take questions over there and they can forward it to me. And I'll be more than glad and happy to answer. So thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am, for your presentation and explaining topic in simplifying way. Our next topic is on business acquisition and SME IPO. It shall be taken by Mr. Pankaj Dara. He shall cover key businesses for takeover, successor issues, valuation, and succession plan, followed by question and answer session. ICS is pleased to provide you all its research and development, integrated management system, QMS, CMS, and OHSS, excellence in education management, ISO made easy in Gujarati, Marathi, Telugu, and Hindi. For reading any of the above book, please contact me, Shishma Kendalkar, on the given contact details. Feedback form, please register on www.sadgunsung.org and go in your login and give your valued feedback to us. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you all the participants and delegates to present our today's webinar. So now it's time to officially close the session. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day.